What's up?
Hey everybody.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Kelly. And we're unleashed.
Yeah.
We're siblings doing this together. Whatever this is.
Yeah. Being.
Yeah, we're being together. So we're out at our family camp out in the country and just spending time out in nature, and I've had an opportunity today. I went out this morning early and I sat under a tree and just like sat in silence and just meditated. And then this afternoon for a couple hours I just sat there and just felt so much peace and so much gratitude, and I was feeling so much love. And I mean, there's nothing better in this world. I could not be doing anything greater than just being in that state of feeling so much love come into me and just feeling love flow out of me. And it made me feel so grateful for the fact that my mom and my dad have taught me love. You know, like today we were out riding around and my dad, he stopped and he's like, I just want to hug that tree. And he went and he hugged that tree. And then Corey got out and hugged the tree, and his kids got out and hugged it. And then I did, and so we're all hugging this tree. We're all tree huggers. But I was like, what a representation of love, of just giving a tree love and feeling that love and sharing that moment and that opportunity. And it just, I was just feeling so much gratitude for my dad that he's taught me how to love. He's taught me how to love nature. He's taught me how to love people. He's taught me just about forgiveness and compassion and just so many incredible things that is just so much like the Savior, so much like Jesus Christ. And he just strives to be like him and to emulate him. And of course he's imperfect, because he's a mortal person and he's got all his ancestral learnings and and everything, but he has such a great desire to be like Jesus Christ, to return to our Heavenly Father. And I'm so grateful for that example in my life, and that I'm able to feel so much love in my life today and in my heart. And I think about just all of the people in this world, and really where this world, the state that the world, not the whole world, but the state that it is in, with like just so many wars and so much contention, so much hate and anger and just pointing the finger and just such negative, hurtful things. And I just think about how unfortunate it is that so many people in this life and in this world have not experienced that love. Like truly, we come into different kinds of families with different kinds of traumas and ancestral wounds, and we have experiences in life that create pain and suffering and hurt, and it just gets so heavy in us, and it hardens our hearts, and it makes us almost afraid to receive love. It almost keeps us from being able to. And I'm so grateful today that I'm able to be open to it, because I know that there has been a lot of time in my life where I have not, like I haven't loved myself. I haven't felt comfortable in who I am, and so I haven't been able to love myself in a way that has allowed me to feel what I feel today. And I'm just so grateful.
Yeah, and something about all the negativity and the polarization and the hate and the wars and the pointing fingers is how much love and compassion and enlightenment and how much good is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you have, the more you're going to have of the other. It's just a law of nature, a law of the universe is a law. I mean, so as one grows, the other grows. It's a matter of how do I want to focus my attention?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I want to focus my thoughts? And it's just, it is. I've been thinking the last couple days, when we've talked about it before, I have had such a self-image, like, dysmorphia, ugly complex, just, like, so judgmental of myself. And for the last few months, I have just been at so much peace with everything about me. Like, all the little tiny things that people see on themselves, at least that I do, it's like I just love myself. And this is the body I was given. Genetically, I'm kind of hairy.
Me too.
Genetically, there's a lot of things about me that in life I had a hard time accepting naturally. And it's like right now in my natural, 100% natural state of how my body is built, I love it. And I've never felt that way. I've always felt like I need to be in the gym 6, 7, 10, 14 times a week, 2-3 hours a day. I'm just always obsessive compulsive disorder. And what I've really been focusing on lately is obsessive compulsive order. Like, I have this, it's just the way I live, and I enjoy it. Like, I do things, and what I've found is in a book I read last night, I am living in the zone. Like, I'm not, I just mentioned to my dad, like, I wake up in the morning, I get started, I do my stuff, I go through the day, and it's like, where did the day go? And then it's like, where did the week go? I've got my kids again. Where did the month go? And it's just, I'm in this flow that is just so wonderful. Do I have ups and downs? Do I have emotions? Do I have things going on? Do I have people that kind of interrupt, And it's not an interruption. That's just part of allowing other people into my life, is I have to adapt. I don't have to. I choose to adapt because I want people in my life. I love people. I love interaction. But it is the first time, 46 years old, 46, it is the first time in my life that I've ever been completely at peace with who I am. And it's so new and just so peaceful. And I do, for the first time, another first, I really love myself, and I find how easy it is to just love people, and I don't have to have a reason. I don't have to have an expectation. It is unconditional. It's like, I don't love you because I just love you. And I think that is just such a beautiful concept of, like, why do you love me? I need this validation. Why do you love me? And I always put that on the mother of my children. It was always like, what is it that you love about me? Why do you love me? Because I didn't love myself, so I wanted to know. But when you love somebody, there are no conditions. I love you just because I love you. And there's nothing more to it. There is nothing more to it. I love you because I love you. Yeah. Life is so good. I mean, it really is. When you're just seeking to do the next right thing, and when I'm seeking to do the next right thing, I feel more peace in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy.
Yeah, it just feels so good. It really does. Talking about body and body dysmorphia and loving ourselves, I have improved so significantly. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you, because I have just never liked myself. I've never liked how I look. I'm always uncomfortable in my skin. Don't want anyone else looking at me. Like, but I recognize and I understand that these are just ways of thinking that have just been that are recordings, you know, from the world and from things that I've heard and learned. And so it's like, whenever I catch myself being down on myself, I'm just so aware today that it's almost like I can't even be like that anymore, you know? I'm really coming to a place in my life where I'm just really loving myself, and it's so freeing. Because it really does, it allows us to just love people with no condition, with no, and there's so much compassion, because like I'm understanding when people are having behaviors that are not really lovable, you know, that I understand it. Like, I totally get it, and it doesn't make them less lovable. You know, it's like, I just recognize that it's just behaviors that's coming from something deep within them, that they need love, that they just need to be loved through, and not, you know, made to feel worse. It's like, people, we know our weaknesses for the most part. We know when we don't feel good, when we're not feeling loving outward. And so it's like, we don't need someone else pointing their finger and telling us how horrible we are. You know, we're all aware of that. What we really need is, whenever we're in that state of however it is we're being, that those are the times that we need people to love us, to wrap their arms around us, you know? I mean, if we're in a state of anger and rage and just pain and hurt, it's like, we don't need someone on the other side attacking it and going back and forth with it. It's like, we need someone to just wrap around us and make us feel safe and let us know that it's okay for you to feel that way, that I love you in all of those feelings, you know, and not take those things personal and not think that it's about us. It's like, yeah, we can get into arguments and conflicts with people, but it's because my ego wants to be right and your ego wants to be right. But if you get rid of the ego and you look at what's in us and what's creating all of this conflict, it's a hurt, it's pain, it's this stuff that needs to come out, and we need people to be safe and to be able to express these things with, and who are there to help us and just to hold us through it. And for those of us who maybe don't want to be held, like, I need to just be alone, like, don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't anything, you know, maybe they just need to sit there or sit outside the door, you know? I mean, I don't know, it's different for all of us, but we truly all do need people. We need relation with people, and we need to feel that safety with people, because I think that that's a lot of it, is like, we don't feel that safetyness, you know, for whatever reason, from experiences in our lives. It creates that within us.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I mean, when I was coming off of drugs and just really going through depression and just all that garbage that goes along with it, I was so isolated and just so wanting to keep my mind busy with just binging shows after shows, and even if it's good shows, just nonstop filling my mind with just chatter, you know, just avoiding myself. But the last year and a half of doing this, you know, even with my relapse and whatever, it was all part of my growth. You know, I don't have any excuses, but I'm so grateful for it. I am. Like, it sucked. It was painful, and it was really however much I let other people down, I mean, I've let myself down more times than I've ever let anybody else down.
Right.
You know, when it comes to being an addict, people have experienced my relapses, say 100 times. I've experienced them thousands and thousands of times, you know. And that just becomes such a low self-esteem.
Yeah.
What am I worth? Can I ever do anything, you know? And now it's just like, what can I do for others? It's no longer about me. You know, my whole consciousness, my whole conscious shift is such a, I am just so in love with myself. Not in that way. I'm so in love with being able to love other people, and the only way that's possible is by loving myself. So yeah, I am in love with who I'm becoming. And if I can't be, how can I ever really love another person and accept them in all their imperfections with no judgment, no conditions, just unconditional love? That doesn't mean I have to engage in behaviors and allow certain behaviors, but I can still love people unconditionally, whether it's putting myself in their presence or being out of their presence. That's the thing about love, is I don't have to be next to somebody to love them and send them energy. You know, everybody's had the experience where you're thinking about somebody and putting that vibe out into the ether, and all of a sudden you get a phone call or a text from them immediately, and it's like, I was just thinking about you, you know? Coincidence? No. It's just the way things are. It's I love energy. I love being able to have that abundance within me where I'm now able to give that. I was never able. Everybody was an inconvenience to me. Everything was an inconvenience to me because it was all about me. I mean, everything was about me. And now my thoughts are conscious. My thoughts are constantly, and I love it. It's like, what can I do to benefit the people that I love? You know? And it's not I take that back. It's not really like a thought of what can I do. It's just like I find myself doing it. Right. You know, in the past,
it's just in the flow of life and feeling love.
In the past, it's looking like, what can I do? And I think that's kind of manipulation. You know, what can I do to make it look like I care? But now it's just like I find myself just doing things. I'm a long ways from being there, but once again, I'm there. It's
right
just
a
funny concept, but it's so true. I'm so in the moment and just here that I love where I'm at, and I'm not in a moment of like stagnancy. Like I'm not going to accept stagnancy. I want to continue to progress because I know that I have so much more to give to the world. I have so much more to create, and that's all I want. I just want to be a light on the hill and stop hiding it under the bed, you know?
Yeah, totally. I love that. I love, coming to like truly get, like, I'm getting the scripture, the commandment. The first and greatest commandment is to love God with all of our heart, might, mind, strength, like just everything. And the second one is to love others like we love ourselves. And so many times it just gets lost in like love everyone else. It's like love God and love your neighbor. And we miss out on like one of the key, it is a key part of that commandment, is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And people just like, well, if I love my neighbor, if I'm serving my neighbor, if I'm doing everything for my neighbor and I'm all outside, then I'm good, But no, like I've spent my whole life truly very selfish in my own stuff, but also serving, constantly serving, and there's absolute truth to, if you are depressed and you are like having a difficult time in your life, like getting out of bed and like it's absolutely true that to go serve someone else will help you. It will help you to get out of yourself and to see other people, that other people do have problems as well. And
it helps.
And it does help. However, when we are, like, if that is our only reason to go help people is to get ourselves out of depression and stuff, we're ignoring our depression. We're ignoring roots that need to be dug out and released and let go of. We need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to get ourselves out of these states of anxiety and depression and fear and anger and grief and just all of this stuff that we just hold on to. We've got to work and we've got to get all of this stuff out of ourselves so that we can be free to love ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that way we can truly love others like we love ourselves. And as we're giving, as we are loving God and truly striving, like, when we're faced God and we want to be closer to Him, when we want to see Him again one day, and we're making those choices that help us to draw closer to Him, He shows us. It's like as we seek Him, He shows us what we can do to further to become closer to Him and to root out all of this stuff that keeps us from feeling love for ourselves. Because He knows that it is in loving Him, that who helps us to love ourselves, we can then truly love our neighbor and love the people in this world. And I mean, so many times in the scriptures, you know, people would have these major awakenings in the scriptures, and immediately they would go to just wanting to share it with the world. They want to change the world. It's not about them anymore. It's about listening to God and helping our neighbors. And that's where it comes in, is we've got to love ourselves.
Yeah, and serving others, it does feel good, but it's not lasting.
Right. No.
You know, and yeah, I can go serve again and get that
and again
a
and
little
again.
feeling of joy, and yeah, it's not that lasting joy and happiness where to really serve. And I mean, it just becomes, whenever I really love myself, it's not like I'm going to do service, I'm just being service.
Right.
I'm serving the trees and everything, the earth. I'm just being connected with the source. I'm being connected with my Heavenly Father, you know?
And then He guides it. Like, He guides the service. He puts
Take over.
He puts people's names in our minds, and He just, like, shows us things.
We don't have to look for service projects to get that little boost of satisfaction of I did service.
Right.
And, you know, what are my motivations behind that also? I mean, there's so many other things that go along with actual, like, service projects, and I think it's great. I love it. I'm not talking bad about it, but there is a lot of ego that goes into it. You know, to be of service in a group, it's like, that's great. I love it. It is. There's a really good feeling of that. Yes. It is a wonderful thing, but it's not lasting. It is an event that brings with me joy, that I was able to be part of a community service. But when I'm really in love and really loving, I'm just constantly serving. You know, even in my prayers, it's devotion. I'm serving God. In my meditation, I'm putting energy out and serving the universe. I'm sending out and I'm giving. And the law of that is naturally you're just receiving. So, I mean, how can I love myself more? Take time and love myself more. Does that sound redundant? Does it sound simple? Well, the most simple things are the truest things. the best way for me to love myself is to do loving things for myself. And naturally, when I do that, I am giving love to the universe, because that's the only way to really receive love within me, is to give it, to give devotion, to love everything around me. To love is to receive love and to feel love and to be in love, not to be grasping for and reaching for and doing things and manipulating situations to get that dose, that fix.
Love me.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. I mean, I've literally been on my knees begging, please, I'll never do it again. I love you. No, don't leave me. I'm crying. No. And I mean, how pathetic. Yeah. Not only on me, but the whole situation.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Love is not demanding. Love is not asking for anything. Love is pure giving and expecting nothing in return.
And the amazing thing is, as you're giving it, you're receiving it. It's just like this flow of just, it is.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It is just a law. And it is, whenever the ego's out of it and you are just loving with no motive or no reason, you're just doing it out of devotion, it just flows within you. You become one with everything, and everything is beautiful.
It is. I was sitting up on a prayer hill earlier, and I seriously was just in that state where I was feeling so much love just sitting on the ground. It's so hard to explain to people, but I was just feeling so much love, and as I was feeling it come in me, it was like I felt like my exhales was just sending love into this world. And it's like we just need more people in this world who are receiving that source love, and that we're just breathing it out and just giving it and sharing it with others. I mean, I still I have a long ways to go. I mean, I truly do. I'm not glowing love, but I mean, I have my moments and my triggers.
Get aggravated, get impatient.
But it's just those moments of practice and feeling it as we tap into that, and as we sit in meditation and we feel that. It's like I hunger for that. I did not realize how much I needed that this weekend. I felt Thursday, I just felt a real strong feeling, an impression to come here to the camp. And I was like, I need to sit in meditation. But sitting up there surrounded by nature and just hearing the birds and feeling the breeze and just being present and just being right now and just feeling, I mean, that is just, you feel so much love. I mean, we just do, and we need that in our lives. We need to turn these things off sometimes, and we just know a lot of the times, and just be present and just receive that love so that we can give that love.
Yeah, you've love is just, people, and you've even mentioned it many times, the church hurt that so many people and so many religions and the whole corporate side of the business side or whatever, and the ego, and just so many different things about organized religion that people get so hurt in, and they get caught up on a certain belief, or get caught up on a certain idea or whatever. But it all comes back to, there's only one thing Jesus taught, and it's love. That's all Jesus Christ was. And anytime that I have a conversation with my friends and they want to bring up these different beliefs, and well, what about the golden plates? What about this and that?
And the angels.
It's the angels and God and
that's real.
all this stuff. I just always say, just love one another like Jesus taught, and you're going to make the world a better place, and everything's going to be good. The only thing that matters is love one another. Love one another as I have loved you. That's all he asked of his apostles. And they had a really hard time doing it themselves. It is not a carnal, natural thing for us to do. It is really self-serve. I mean, natural man wants, what can I get out of this? What can I get from somebody? How can I step on them to get higher up on the ladder? But that's not what life's about, and that's not what Jesus taught. And all religion aside, Jesus is the pure example of love. You can just get rid of everything else and just say Jesus Christ is just the example of love. And what sets him apart from other really enlightened people in history is he even hung on the cross and loved his enemies in the middle of being tortured to death. That is the one thing that really sets him apart, is he was still able to love everyone in those most excruciating moments. And that is pure love. To love your enemies as they crucify you and nail you to a cross. What better example could I follow? I mean, following Buddha,
they all teach such great stuff.
Yeah, following anybody, Lao Tzu, following Krishna, following whoever, even Muhammad. If you follow some of his purest stuff, they all taught love, but Jesus Christ taught love while hanging from a cross, dying for me. And through that, he resurrected 3 days later, and he is my Savior. And because of him, I'm also going to resurrect and live forever with the people I love. And it's just so simple, you know? Just love one another. Why fight it? You know? I get a little impatient at times, but I find myself thinking I'm being impatient.
Right. I recognize it.
Yeah, I recognize it. And it's like, why am I being impatient with a 9-year-old because I told her to do something 5 times? I'm 46-year-old, and I've been telling myself to do something for 35 years, 30 years, whatever, and I still haven't listened to myself. Right. My parents have been telling me to do stuff since I was 12 years old, little baby, and I haven't, it's like, give them a break.
Right.
There's no reason to grab them by the arm and pull them out the door or get impatient. It just makes them sad. Just want to love my kids.
Yeah. And that's all they need.
They're just living in the moment. There's my boy. He's almost 13, cruising around on the 4-wheeler. He is in the now. That dude is just embracing the moment. He's so happy. He got here and he said, "This is home. This is what home feels like." And he's expressing love for this place that's been created for him. And I love the way it smells here. I'm spitting all over.
Yeah,
and, he's 12, almost 13, and he is so loving and just, he wants to cuddle with me all the time, and he still wants to be a baby and call me Dada, and it's like, I freaking love it. Don't ever stop calling me Dada. Just stay as you are. And my little precious Jane, she's just wants me to love her, and she's very demanding of attention, and I could find myself at times being like, okay, I'm in it, but it's like, just love.
Yeah, totally.
Especially the children. I mean, that's all they want.
I know.
They have no manipulative reasons to get me. They just want love.
And they're so curious. Like, they truly are so curious, and they want to learn, and they're soaking up everything from us.
Everything.
Like, they learn so much. Like, I was sitting up there meditating and just thinking about the way that it's so important for us to teach our children these things that we are learning, like to teach them how to be still and how to connect and to feel that love for themselves
by doing.
Yes, we need to do that. And it's like they need to see parents, they need to see the adults in their life disconnecting from stuff and just being present and being right now and feeling that love for ourselves so that we can pass that on to our children. We don't need to keep passing on all of the trauma. We just need to just deal with this ourselves and show our children a better world through who we are becoming. I mean, we're just in a state in this world today where we are all just becoming really, truly so aware. And we see it. We see these behaviors within us that, I mean, I see it so clearly whenever I hang out with my dad. Like, when he does stuff, I'm like, I do that. That is where I got that from. And I recognize it as just a pattern, like a behavior that he learned from his mom or his dad. And it's just so funny to see these little things. And it's like, I don't have to do that. You know, not that it's bad or good or anything, but it's like, if it just doesn't work for me and it's not bringing me joy or love or just all of those things that I'm seeking for, I'm just able to recognize things. And it's like, we can break those things for our children, especially these little children who are being born into this world where it is just constantly busy, loud. I mean, there are so many autistic children coming into this world. They are just too sensitive to this world. They cannot handle the noise. And, you know, we can learn from our children that we need to put the headphones on. We need to put the where we can't hear anything outside. You know, it's like they're teaching us, they're trying to teach us something. And it's just important for us to learn these things for ourselves, to learn stillness, to learn quiet, just being quiet and connecting with whatever words you want to use that you resonate with.
Yeah.
And so they can feel that in their lives too.
Yeah, the passing on the traumas thing, it's like there's so much I can do with my behaviors and the way that I live and the way that I treat my children, and I can do all that I can do to love them unconditionally and just be an example, and they still have my DNA. They have generations of alcoholism, generations of anger, generations of all the stuff that I have within me that I don't have to express and put that onto them, because they're already going to have that within them, so they don't need to receive even more from me. What I can do is just be an example, and our parents did a really good job of that. You know, I want my kids to learn how to meditate. I want my kids to learn how to pray. And how do I do that? I pray with them every night. I meditate. They see me meditating. I always saw my mom and dad praying. I mean, I just always saw it. I'd open the door and there he is praying, and it's like, or she, and it's like, you know, that is, you don't teach by telling your kids what to do. It's just that simple. You teach by opening up a book and reading it. So many people say, man, I wish kids would read more, while I'm sitting here scrolling down Facebook for hours and laying in bed, and they come in and, you know, what is mom or dad doing? Well, they're there laying in bed scrolling. Well, what better example could it be than actually being on my knees or in a meditative position and doing that for 30 minutes, an hour and a half, and they keep coming in and see, you know, I'm not doing it with that motivation of like, oh, I hope my kids see. I'm doing it because I want to improve myself. But naturally, they're going to see that. And that is how we can create change in our DNA for our great grandkids. We can be the start. We can be the start of changing those behaviors that have just been since Europe.
Yeah, and we're just living on autopilot, so unaware.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, most people.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. I mean, because I've lived completely unaware for my entire life until in 2012, because I have the journal. I said, I pray to be aware. I began to pray to be aware, and God has led me down this path of just so much awareness today. And so, if you feel like you're on autopilot and you're just in the world and it's just crazy and busy and you're depressed and anxious and just all the stuff that we talk about, start praying for awareness. But just know you're going to get it.
Mhm.
And sometimes it comes in a whole lot of stuff. My mom died. My dad had a heart attack. It's like my husband retired medically. Like my kids left the house. Like so many things, so many like hard, painful experiences have happened to me in the past since that time. And it's like I see all of it as just so many gifts that have shown me stuff about myself that I've just needed to let go of and to work through and process and feel and overcome. It's just made me so aware of my codependency, of my addictions, of just so much with myself. And I'm so grateful today that I'm just being unleashed. I mean, that's why we call this. I mean, we're just constantly being unleashed from this world, untethered. That's awesome.
Love one
And I
another.
love it.
That's
what
the
it
best
was.
way to live
Love.
for me. And I just want to share that with the world. So
Yep. Me too.
life is so wonderful. And that's coming from the most miserable man on earth. I know I'm not the most, but I'm up there tied with.
Right, me too. Like truly.
Yeah.
I've been in it. I've been in the depths of it.
I have been in the depths of hell and misery, and I'm in a place of peace and harmony, and
Yep.
I love it. Life is good.
Me too. And anyone can have it.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah. If I can do it, I know anybody can do it.
Absolutely.
I used to always say, if that person can do it, I can do it. But that's not what it's about. You can do it because you can do it.
Exactly.
I can do it because I can do it, even though I never believed I could. But it all starts now.
Yep.
You can't put it off till tomorrow because today is all we got. So, love y'all. Love one another.
Bye, y'all.